across the pavement, hoping it'll cave and swallow me whole. Wonder why my mind keeps on spinning. This is how I live into me what's so.
My week is always amazing because I declare it to be so. That's just the type of person that I am, right? And even if I were having even if I had a bad day, I didn't have a bad week. I just had a bad moment. My stay in Houston so far has been amazing. You guys are incredibly hospitable. Y'all do everything big here. Everything is big. We went to eat yesterday. I'm not going to name the restaurant, but we did go eat yesterday. The food was like overwhelmingly big. Got a hotel. The bill is like overwhelmingly big. Everything is just incredibly big, but I love Houston. Actually, if I moved anywhere else in the United States, it would be Houston.
Really? Why?
It's important for me to be in a progressive environment that's still moving pretty fast. And Houston is like the next best thing to Atlanta that I've experienced. Gotcha. If you guys have a better experience I should try out, let me know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I got to tell you one more thing about my stay. Well, not even about the stay. So a couple days ago, I put out a post saying I'm looking for a full-time videographer with competitive pay. And so funny. It's competitive. Yeah, competitive pay. So I said I'm looking for a full-time videographer, right? And we're getting these, inquiries from the DM and all that kind of stuff. What's crazy is Christina, who's doing like the interviewing of the people, she told Joe to stop replying to DMs because it says to email. And she was like, yo, people who don't follow directions just don't even like reply to them, right? So we're just specifically going to the email. So what happened was I get a booking for a coaching session. Now, my coaching sessions, it was like a month ago, somebody booked it. It was $1,000. And I told Jen immediately, just raise it. Because I don't do one-on-ones like that. I said, raise it to $2,000. Because if somebody wants to do a session, you really want to do that session. And I'm cool doing it for an hour for $2,000. So I see a session come through and I'm like, okay, well, let's do it. I get on the Zoom call and it's, how old are you, Kim? 23. 23-year-old Kim. And I'm like, yo, what's going on? How can I help you?
Aww.
He says, man, really? I packed my bags last night. I live in LA. I know you live in Atlanta. I'm your videographer. He said, when should I come? I said, what? I got my notebook ready to coach. I'm ready to coach. And he's like, man, I just wanted to like get in front of your face and say, yo, I'm willing to work. I said, where you live? He said, LA. I said, do you work now? He said, yeah, I got a job. I'm like, bro, I live in Atlanta. He said, yeah, I'll just quit. And I was there for you. I said, whoa, okay, kid, hold on. Okay, slow down. I like what's going on here. Because you can't teach that kind of stuff. So I'm looking at his video work and I'm like, I don't know if it's the style that I'm looking for, but that you can teach. You can teach all that stuff. The actual like how to, like the quality and all that kind of stuff, but you can't teach ambition, grit, like just going to get it. So I'm like, well, hold on, we don't hire like that, right? But we're gonna do something together. So what he said was, I said, well, when I get back from Houston, we can talk. And he said, you going to Houston? I said, yeah. He said, y'all book my flight right now. He said, tell me where you staying. Like, I'll get a room there. I'll be there. And I said, really? He said, yo, I'll be there. So the next day, 23-year-old Cameron booked his flight and he's here. I can't make this stuff up.
You know what? Those are the kind of stories that you hear from billionaires later, right? Yeah, I remember David Shands. I really admired him. He posted a job opening. I called and I told him that I would quit my job. I would pack up and move from LA to Atlanta. And then he said he had an event coming up just days later, and I called into work. I got my plane ticket and I went straight from LA to Houston, and I was at this event and I was there and I was proving myself and learning, and he gave me a shot. And now I have filmed for every major studio in Hollywood, in Atlanta, in Miami, and I have made billions of dollars doing this. These are the kind of people who go on to make millions and billions of dollars.
100%.
That type of
and
ambition.
I feel, what's crazy is I feel obligated to work with them. I feel obligated. It's very, very rare that you come across somebody that's willing to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have, me personally. But it's like, there's a vision that I have, and there's a dream, and there's an opportunity, and I'm going to go after the opportunity right now.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Congratulations, Cam.
23 billion. Watch that kid. So I just thought that it was so motivating to me, because I'm like, what opportunities am I leaving on the table because I'm not willing to do what it takes?
Yep.
What opportunities am I leaving on the table? I just don't get it. It's so crazy. When I first started coaching, I just started helping people. They just asked me, I'm making a couple dollars in my t-shirt brand. You want some help? I got you. But I decided, people say, I want to pick your brain. And I'll say, well, at least take me to lunch. Because I started taking other people to lunch.
Yes,
Would you believe that there were some people that said, lunch? You got your own money. I just got a couple questions. So they let lunch stand in the way of some information that could really take them to another level. And then I was like, all right, all these people are taking me to lunch. Now I'm going to start charging. And I think my first session was $100, $150, something like that. And there was some people, $150? Oh, no, I can't. They let $150 stand in the way. So this kid is a few thousand in. I haven't given him a dime. But now I feel obligated. I got to figure out something. I don't know what it is. Well, we got to do something. But what is standing in the way of you getting to your destiny? What is standing in the way of you getting to your goal?
I know what the number one thing is for most people.
What might that be?
Ego. Your ego is standing in the way of you getting what you want. Because so many of us right now, because we're able to see the success all over social media, we're able to see these results out loud. Many of us, and I'll say us, many of us are scared to start at the start. You want to start showing things when you have the clients that you want and you've made the money that you want, but you have to show the beginning, and you can't be afraid to go to somebody and say, I need help. You can't be afraid to go to somebody and say, I noticed that you do this a little better than me. Can you help me? You can't be afraid to raise your hand and say, I just don't know. Instead, what you'll do instead is try to create an answer. Oh, I have an answer. I don't really know, but I'm going to say something that sounds good, right? Or we judge those people who could help us. We're looking at people and we're like, I know more than them. I don't understand how they got to where they are. And I'm sitting here and my information is better. Where is it? Where is the information? And instead of judging those people, maybe we should be asking for help. So ask yourself, is my ego currently holding me back from a situation? Raise your hand if you're bold enough. If your ego is currently holding you back from something because you're scared to ask, scared to confess, scared to admit, scared to try, scared to start, scared to go to that person who you're hating on for help. Nobody?
Yeah, I was in LA and this guy came up. He said, man, I love what you're doing, man. Got a couple questions. What happened was he didn't ask me not one question. For 5 minutes, he was talking about himself.
Oh, yes.
And it was like he wanted to assert who he was for 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there like, oh, really? Oh,
wow.
Okay, cool. Oh,
I'm impressed.
Right. In my head, I'm like, dang, I'm trying to find the end. For the last 3 minutes, I'm trying to find the end to stop the conversation. That's what's going on in my head.
Yeah.
He's talking to me, but I'm thinking, can I get in there and say, I can't get in there. But he just kept going. It was his ego. Because he kept saying, yo, yeah, you younger than me, man, but da-da-da-da. But you younger than me, but it was his ego. He talked to me for 5, didn't ask not one question. And then after the conversation was over, it's almost like he got what he wanted out of the conversation. He seemed so relieved. He said, man, great talking to you, man. It was... I can't make this stuff up. It's your ego. I think another thing that might be standing in the way is you value money more than information. You could quite possibly love your money more than information. Because if you didn't, you would spend the money on information. But anytime you don't spend money on information, you're saying the information is more valuable, or my money is more valuable than the information that I might get. When I go to these events, or like, I'm not looking for a whole lot. It's like 1 or 2 things that I don't care how much I pay for it. There's 1 or 2 things that I'm looking to extract. And I'm thinking in my head, if I can get this, it's worth the $2,000. If I can get this one thing, it's worth the $4,000. So we got a boot camp coming up, a content creation boot camp. How many you been to? You came to 2 boot camps. Your content is terrible. Everything you post, nothing gets likes, nothing gets shares, nothing gets comments. It's terrible. But there's only a couple reasons why you're either terrible at creating content or you're not creating content at all. Number 1 is you don't know what to say. You don't know what you should be putting out. Number 2 is you don't know how to say it, or you don't know how to post. You don't know how to make a video and put words at the top. Number 3, you don't understand the importance of creating content. Or number 4, you're afraid of something. I don't know if you're afraid of being judged. I don't know if you're afraid of the new brand direction that you're going into. I don't know what you're afraid of. You don't like how you look on video. I don't know. But there's 4 reasons why you're not creating content. And this is why I had the idea to create the content creation boot camp. Okay, people are flying in from all across the country to attend these boot camps, and every single one sells out. Every single content creation boot camp we've had since January has sold out. And this is our 5th one. Okay. So listen, if you want to have content that converts and you want to be a 6-figure content creator, listen, I built a 7-figure podcast in a very short period of time. And I'm actually teaching the podcast blueprint. It's absolutely amazing. Over a 3-day period, you can come to Atlanta and see me in person, me and my content creation friends. They're absolutely amazing. Wednesday, all networking event. I pay for Topgolf. I pay for all the food. You just come, network, leave your wallet at home. You're good. You're going to network with other content creators and people that want to create content. Thursday and Friday is a 2-day intensive workshop, 9 to 4, both days. You need to be there. We're going to tackle everything. You will not leave with questions. That's my guarantee to you. You will come and you will not leave with questions unanswered. If that happens, or if you have questions, I'm going to sit there as long as I need to make sure that you're creating you get all your questions answered. All right. So click the link below. I'll see you at the boot camp. And it's 2 days of learning how to create content. Somebody DM'd me and said the tickets are too high. And I get it. It's just from your perspective. But like, I've made millions understanding how to create content. I've been creating content since 2010, 2011. Millions of dollars understanding how to create content, how to paint pictures online so that I can grow a following. Because I know if I have a following, I'm not even good at sales. If enough people follow me, somebody's going to buy something if I offer it. So the ticket price, I think it's $2,500 right now. Would you invest $2,500 to get 1 or 2 nuggets that can take you to another level? What if one nugget helps you make an extra $10,000 this year? Because here's what I know about entrepreneurs. It's not a million things that you're missing. Mm-hmm. It's 1 or 2 adjustments. It's literally 1 or 2 adjustments. Tonight, somebody's gonna unlock something tonight that takes you to another level. It's not all the stuff. It wasn't the story about Cam. It wasn't the pitch. It was something that you're gonna grab. I don't know who it is. Somebody's gonna grab 1 nugget and they're like, yup, that's it. Mm-hmm. I'm implementing how to assert myself in a presentation, how to get my pitch down so I'm not uncomfortable in front of people. Somebody's gonna grab one thing. So what do y'all think it is? What do you think is standing in your way?
Mine was an ego last time, not
Ego. Ego, not admitting you need help.
Yeah.
But I went out in LA because I was in the back. Y'all said, what's your fear? And I was really racking my brain like, what am I afraid of? I love people. I
Yeah.
talk. Like, what am I afraid of?
Something. 100%.
Sometimes that's why I'm here. Because
Hold on, you gotta come to the mic because they won't hear it on the podcast. They'll be like, yo, why didn't I say nothing? Go for it.
all right, I'm back. That's why I came out here, because even leaders have to follow sometimes. And the fact that you already put the platform in place is, I gotta rock with it, because it's proven. These are the people. So now we have to get out here and show our social proof. So
100%.
I appreciate the opportunity.
100%, no doubt.
Yeah,
Appreciate
yeah.
it. Appreciate it. So you want to get into what we didn't even really start the podcast yet. Because we had something we was going to talk about today.
We are. And honestly, this entire conversation has been really, really good. I know that even if we didn't go any further today, somebody in here learned how to communicate their message. And that's the start.
Game changer.
That's the game-changing start, how to communicate your message. Because if you can't clearly tell me in a desirable way what it is that you do, I have checked out. Because everybody's a fitness trainer, everybody's a business coach, everybody's a podcaster, everybody's a barber and a hairstylist. What do you do in a way that makes me crave doing business with you, right? So if you hadn't gotten anything so far, you should have that. And if you didn't get that, I don't know what you're doing, because I gave you the whole formula for it.
That's a fact.
But now we're about to move on to how to get this money.
Let's do it. Y'all want to hear that?
Yes.
How to get this money?
Yes.
I don't know what's going on in Houston.
Should we?
All right, we're going to talk about how to get this money. Y'all ready?
Only like 5 people are ready.
So
Only like 5 people clap.
I'd like to know, how do you guys make money?
Yeah.
Because there's a couple different ways you can make money. And I'm not talking about necessarily the industry, but there's a few ways that you make money. One is someone pays you to do a job, right? How many people that's your main source of income? Cool. Number 2, you're being paid from your own work. You're paying you. So you do the work and you make money from you doing the work, right? So you set up your own schedule. You're an entrepreneur or self-employed. Number 3,
Being paid from other people's work.
being paid from other people's work.
Being paid from other people's work.
Yes. Gotta come to the mic.
No, he's raising his hand. That's how he gets paid.
Oh, you get paid from other people's work. And you really get paid from number 4.
Being paid by systems to work. Being paid by systems to work, which is the ultimate level that you want to get to, right? It is not the easiest level to get to. Most of us, entrepreneur or not, will start off by being paid by someone else to work via a job, right? Most of us started a job somewhere, whether you were cutting grass or you had an actual W-2 job, right? And that's where we all start. And honestly, we want to respect that part of the process, because your job will teach you certain principles and values and operations and processes that help you to become a good entrepreneur. Here's the thing. It is easier to be a good entrepreneur when you were a good employee.
That's a fact.
It's not required that you be a good employee to be a good entrepreneur, but it is easier to be a good entrepreneur if you were first a good employee. If you were a person who lacked work ethic and your employer couldn't trust you to show up on time, to be working while you were on the clock, to do the job and get the result, why would your client trust you to show up on time, to do the work on time, and to deliver the result? Guys, the energy that you put out will always reciprocate. Even if you feel like you got lucky and you hit the jackpot and you sucked as an employee and you're making it as an entrepreneur, it's going to come back and pay you somehow. Might not be through your performance, but it might be when you're ready to start hiring people, then you get terrible employees because of the type of employee you were, right? Or you don't know how to be an effective leader because you didn't know how to be a great follower. So if you are working, we said this once before, change the thought process, right? If you're working and you want to work your way off of the job, immediately stop saying that you hate your job.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately. Because as David said once, the money that you make on your job is the investment capital that you need to create your business. Why wouldn't you respect that? Wouldn't you respect an investor? When you get an investor in your business, are you going to do everything you can to please said investor? Let me make sure we got the reports right. Let me make sure I'm executing. Let me make sure your job is your first investment into your business.
Yeah. How many people are, you complain about your job every day? Okay. You probably didn't complain the first day, though. Right? Because you needed a job, or it's a new job from another job that you was complaining about. And that first day, that first week, you're like, oh, we up. I can get used to this. I like it. But something happened along the way where your patterns started to kick in, where you get tired of everything. Everything's exciting, and then you get tired of it because it's not what you thought it would be, or it doesn't feel how it did when you first started. And then it tailors off, and then you start something else. You get excited about that new job, and then eventually you're sick of that. That's a pattern.
Yeah.
That's a pattern. And it's probably showing up in some other areas of your life as well. Like, you start a job, you're excited, then you start to complain. You start a relationship, you're excited, and then
you start to complain. Not me. I'm just
I know, who's you looking at? It seems like she's looking at somebody, right?
I'm looking into empty space. Not me. Listen, you're trying to.
Anyway. So it's a pattern, though. A hobby. You start, you love it for a minute, and then you stop. How many people got that pattern? Sometimes that might be what you get today, the realization of my pattern. I love starting stuff. Most of the time when people say they're rebranding, what that tells me,
they stopped.
You're stopping and doing something else.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in a rebranding right now. You just quitting. You just quit something and you're starting something else. Your pattern's kicking in.
Rebrand yourself to success. At some point, the brand is the brand and you're going to roll with it, right?
So I do want to share this. When I started working at the Cheesecake Factory, and I kind of told this, I think, another episode, my goal was, because I noticed that I couldn't keep a job past 10 months. So my next goal was to be there for 12 months. I said, I just want to get to my goal of being at the same job for 12 months because I'm ambitious, I'm an entrepreneur, but I can't seem to be consistent at a job. I looked up one day, I was there for 3 years. And I said, I'm getting the hang of this thing. Consistency. And then I started my t-shirt brand. But I knew I couldn't, my t-shirt brand was the first thing I started and was consistent with, but it started with me appreciating my job. It was like a whole mindset shift. My job started paying me to get better. I was late everywhere I go. Anybody like that? You was late today. You just knew you was gonna be on time. And how many people accepted the fact that you're late everywhere you go? And you're okay with it. So if I had to be to work at 4 o'clock, I would always be there at 4:05, 4:10. But in my job, it didn't matter though, because I'm a server, so I'm just taking over somebody's shift. Typically, they have a couple extra tables, all that kind of stuff. We're good. But I started challenging myself. If I had to be to work at 4 o'clock, I wanted to be there at 3:50. If I got there at 3:55, I'm still early for my job, but I would be pissed because I'm late for myself. For some reason, I can't do what I say I'm gonna do. It pissed me off. You should really get upset that for some reason, there's something happening up here where like your time management skills, everywhere you go, and get this, you're probably late the same amount of time. It's always a few minutes.
What do you think of me, David? I think you're throwing shots.
Oh yeah, Donni, it's a pattern. We're all growing. Am I right?
am always 7 to 10 minutes late. Always.
So much so, I always bet Joe, I'm like, I think it's gonna be about 7 minutes today. What you think?
But in my defense, like if I leave the house an hour early, something is going to happen along the way, and I'm still 7 to 10 minutes late. So I'm like, I might as well just leave when I feel like leaving, because regardless, we're going to be 7 to 10 minutes late. But I will say that listening to you, it really has translated, and it did translate into my business. Not so much anymore, but definitely early on.
And you are more on time than you were.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, sure.
Absolutely. Like, I literally be like, oh my God, get there. Whenever I'm meeting him specifically, because he be putting me on social media and stuff, like, and I can't do that. But earlier in my business, I would have clients or prospects not show up or not show up on time, to the point where I had to implement a tardiness policy. But now, when you think about it, my behavior caused me to attract other people like me. I'm always late. So I attracted people who were always late. Listen, my tardiness gets on Shan's nerves so bad. Now he's just kind of accepted that I am who I am, and we make jokes about it. But it's not a joke like I accept it. It's a joke like, Donni, quit playing with my time. My tardiness, literally, I think I got broken up with one time over my tardiness. I think, like, for real, like, it was a whole argument. Like, I told you 20 minutes ago I was on the way, you were ready. Like, why did it take you 15 minutes to come down the stairs, like, from your building? And I'd be like, because the elevator be stuck, you know? But there are people in my life now who challenge me in that way, that I have to get better. Like, I have to get better at being on time. And what's crazy is, like, I'm never late for money.
Yo, she will not budge on a client. My gosh.
He'd be like, can you do something different? No, I got clients.
So I want to know, and I don't want to know, but I want you to know what your pattern is. And it may not be latenesses. It may be your temper. It may be your emotions. It may be
your ego.
Your ego. Never accepting fault. Where you clearly do something, but in your mind, automatically you come out with an excuse.
Yeah, like those people who clearly do something to piss you off, and then you get pissed off, and then they be like, but what did I do? Why are you mad? You're going to attract more of that into your life and into your business. Yep. And you're not going to understand why people are always pissed off with you, but it's because you are the kind of person who throws shots and you don't accept it. You're going to cover your hand. Yep, but then it's like, well, what did I do? Why are you mad? What did I do? Why are you mad? You want to create customer complaints and chargebacks and disputes? Keep being that person. Mm-hmm. Keep being that person. You want problems in your relationship with your clients? Keep being that person. At some point, we got to look internally and stop saying, I am who I am. Either you take me or you leave me. Good. I'm leaving you. And I mean, in business, I don't have to take what you give. I don't have to take it. You don't have to take what you can get. Your customers don't have to take what you can get or what they can get. So what are 3 things about yourself right now that you constantly hear people accuse you of being that are not the best representation of you? 3, you already got it. You know, you got your 3 things before I even finish my sentence. What are the 3 things right now that people are constantly saying, you are this person, you are this person, and you are this person, that we need to make a shift on? Like, what's your 3 things? Because you got them. Come to the mic for me.
And it could be something that you know in your head. It might be the overdraft. How often are you negative?
Mm-hmm. I only got one thing, and people say I'm an asshole.
You're an asshole.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Have you owned it? He owned it though. It's shit up. He said, man, that's people say.
I'm not having a hard time believing it.
Nah, he liked that thing though. He said, hey, man.
Smile on his face.
You can tell me. You know
what I mean? Okay. And then what is your response to that?
Like you said, it is what it is, but you ain't got to deal with it. You could go find somebody else to go just in third. But since you're still with me, it's like I'm dealing with my assholeness.
He's talking about his relationship.
Oh, you?
Yeah, go on.
See, nah. I'm talking about people too.
Your girl don't watch podcast. That shit.
Oh, nah, she don't watch. Nah, she don't watch.
You're an asshole.
Can we edit this
You're
conversation,
butthole.
please? Thank you.
You're a jerk. Okay, and I'm not calling you names. I'm just looking
Right,
for
right.
name. So let me ask you this: how many good friendships and relationships have you lost because you're a jerk?
I don't think it's because I'm a jerk.
See, already we in denial.
Nah, I don't think because I'm a jerk. It's more so that I elevate. So I see somebody, I keep growing, but they staying the same. So I make that choice to keep moving forward while they stand still, which is cool, but I'm on the go. I'm on go. So that's probably why they see me as an asshole, because I'm so focused on my business.
Jerk.
A jerk. I'm sorry, y'all. A jerk, because I'm so focused on my goals, and they don't want me be focused on. They want to go to the bar, the clubs. They want to do this and the third, but I'm be so focused.
That's not it.
But
that's not it. Trust me.
It's just not.
I've been there. So where I start to elevate. So it's one thing to start to elevate, and people don't understand, and you respond the way you typically respond in that true jerk fashion.
Right.
Yo, if you ain't in. Right. It is what it is. If you ain't coming.
Right.
So I don't have that problem, me personally. I have problems, just not that one.
Okay.
But when I started to elevate, I just kept asking people to come with me. Hey, why don't you come over and help? Yo, we about to start building this joint. You with it? And they say no.
You can easily bend the limbs, but when that tree gets deep rooted and grows, if you try to bend the limb, it'll break. And so you're looking at these baby boomers, and the coding and programming is so embedded in them for so many years that it's they've become rooted trees. They've grown and they've got stiff bark, and you can't really bend those limbs. They'll just snap. And a lot of them aren't ready for that information. So you have to just, I tell people who always ask me, how do I get my family members to wake up, and how do I said, you just be the light. You just do what you do. Don't put pressure on them. Every now and then you may drop a gentle seed, and that's about it. And just let them look at your life and how you're moving. Eventually they may start to ask some questions. Right. And then you can answer the question and walk away. Don't go too deep again. Just little bit at baby steps, a little bit at a time. Some of them will come along, some of them may not. Just be happy that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're finding yourself. And then others will also see how you're moving and how you're living through this matrix. And then they will then begin to ask you questions. And some people will jump right on in with you, full blown. Some people will take time. It's a gradual process, but like you said, you can't overdo it.
Everybody's in their own game.
Exactly. Lead by example. Just lead by example. If it's not for you, it's not for you. If it's
right. Like, and you know them by their fruit.
Yes. Right. Right.
It's like, did we miss that message? Like, you know people by their fruit, meaning their actions show you who they are.
Exactly.
So that whole I'm woke because you. So here it is. Let's go back. I was about to go full into that, which is, okay, you got the information, you got all his knowledge. Neo, when he went, he got into the chair, got the thing plugged into him, and he was sitting there for hours just downloading information, right? And he said, and he told Morpheus, I know Kung Fu. Morpheus said what? Show me.
Right.
Oh, right. You know. Show me.
Exactly.
Right. It's the action that proves it.
So he went in that simulation again to show him he knew Kung Fu. And what did Morpheus do? He whipped his ass.
Yep. Beat him down.
He beat him down. He's training him the whole way. Yeah, you learn some information, but you can't apply it.
Until you apply that information, it's not real. It's not in this realm. It doesn't exist. It just exists in your mind.
Yes.
Until you apply it.
Absolutely. That happens to me all the time. People come